for Charles. Show us some love. Woohoo! D.C. Smoke in. Now they say that we're a bunch of non-productive, pot-smoking losers. Every drug ad you see on TV is about pot, as if nobody does crack or heroin anymore. Maybe that's why crack and heroin use are so far up. Crack and heroin are back. Hey, like it says on my leaf, don't blame me. I'm not the source of your drug problem. I'm the solution to your drug problem. I'm Jay Statzer, and I'm with Cures Not Wars. I work especially with the cures aspect of Cures Not Wars. But let me tell you, there is no reasonable excuse to arrest anyone for cannabis, anything involved with cannabis. And we call it cannabis now. We don't call it marijuana, because that's racist hate speech. And so if you ever talk to your congressman or senator, ask them how can they support a law, how can a law be a legal law if there's racist hate speech contained in the text of the law? It's like Jesse Helms just passed this new law, said you'll do 12 years if you get caught with a nigger. Nigger involvement is this new law now. They'll take your car, your house. That's every bit as much racist hate speech to say that as it is to say marijuana involvement or possession of marijuana. So we need to set ourselves free. We need to have our pot pride, and we need to break ourselves free from the chains of the racism, of this Mexican slang word, and speak proper English. If you're going to come into my house and take my rights, at least as an American, pay me the honor of talking to me in English when you tell me why. The real word is cannabis. The racist hate word is marijuana, and we keep using that word. We're just putting ourselves down. The second you go into a debate with somebody and you use the M word, you already got yourself a foot down. So let's break ourselves free of that. But we're patriotic Americans because we're the ones here that understand the freedom. I hear these born-again Christians whining about how Christians are so persecuted. Try walking around in my sandals for a while, Mr. Christian, and learn about some real persecution. I see those bumper stickers that say, God bless America. Well, my bumper sticker says, God forgive America. And if we're going to have a religious nation, then they damn well better, and George Bush damn well better, begin every prayer with, God forgive America. And plead to God and say, I didn't know. I didn't mean to illegalize the plant that uses the sun's energy more efficiently than any other plant. I didn't mean to illegalize the plant that could replace oil. I didn't mean to illegalize the plant that could replace the cutting down of trees for paper. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't know about the herbal medicine that nobody's ever overdosed from. I didn't know. I didn't mean to make that law, but we're with God now. We're getting closer to the truth now. We're discarding the lies. And when you discard the lies, you uncover the truth, because the truth is out there looking for you. Just like God's out there looking for you. God is truth. And when the government comes and they steal the truth from you by making something a secret, they have stolen part of your connection with the Lord. And that is a sin. And they say it's a Christian nation. But I'm a patriot, and I'm going to prove it. And anyone else who wants to prove it, put your hand on your heart right now and recite after me. And I mean it now. This doesn't work if I'm doing it by myself. I pledge allegiance to the bag of the fine cannabis sativa, and to the public for which it stones, 1 nickel or a dime, with liberty and cannabis forever. We gotta have our pot pride. One thing we're going to do today is march, and one of the fun things we get to do now ever since 9/11 is we get to go through a little Checkpoint Charlie action before they let us onto the grounds for the free concert. It's always fun. Sometimes we get rained down, we get to shake the rain out of our hair at the screeners. And it makes you wonder, what is it that we are carrying that they're so afraid of, that is such a threat to national security. Is it a joint? Oh my God. But don't worry about Checkpoint Charlie. We've had people say, well, I'll enter into the parade grounds, into the concert grounds from another area. I won't enter with the march, but you're actually better off entering through the march. Because when they see thousands of hippies coming down the street, they're not going to just try to screen you one at a time. And they understand also that this is a First Amendment demonstration. This is not a party. If you want to go to a party, come to my state. Every first Saturday of April in Ann Arbor, Michigan is an event called the Hash Bash. Has anyone here ever been to Hash Bash? That's where you're guaranteed to see hippies crowding the diag of the University of Michigan on rain, snow, freezing rain, and glorious sunshine. Nothing stops the crowd. It's one of these guaranteed crowds you can go to year after year after year. It's like Liberation Day, the first Saturday of May, in a city near you. How many people went to that event this year? We need to say that the whole point of Liberation Day is you don't have to go to one central location to have your event. No activist or hippie should have to drive more than an hour to get to a rally on Liberation Day. So if there's not a rally near enough to you, start one. Contact Cures Not Wars, send Dana Beal an email at dana@curesnotwars.com and get it rolling. .org, I'm sorry, .org. I never blow that either. That's the first time I've done that. Let's get Dana over here, by the way. I like to keep him close. He's always been a major source of inspiration to me. Actually, Dana, I haven't even checked with you on this. I want to ask you a question while I got you here. Is it okay if we call the first Saturday of May from now on Liberation Day, the day where the rally happens, which includes the Million Marijuana March if you have one?
Fine with me.
He says fine with him. I think that that's a great idea. Liberation Day, because we don't need the government to tell us what our holidays are. We don't need Keith Stroop to tell us what our holidays are. I don't need his permission to put on a rally. So I go to Detroit year after year after year, and I tell you what, man, I have had more resistance from NORML than I've had from the city. I've had more police activity from NORML than I've had from the city police. What's up with that? What's up with an organization that has their national conference this year on the same day as Hash Bash? Are they so unhip that they don't know what day Hash Bash is? So I guess I've stopped telling people to join NORML. You know, Cures Not Wars is nice because all you got to do is declare yourself a member. Marijuana Policy Project is really one of the organizations that's responsible for the legwork that's getting these petitions passed. And then NORML comes in at the end and, you know, tries to glean whatever credit they can for it. But they're not the only game in town. And I think by joining the other organization, hey, join the ACLU. They're the ones that have kept us from being drug tested randomly all the time. Show them some props and give them, it's a $25 or $35 donation, so do it. Because there are groups out there that need our support. And we can't let ourselves narrowcast and confine ourselves with a group like NORML if they spend more time telling activists what they can't do than helping them do what they're already doing. So Liberation Day, the first Saturday of May. Ann Arbor Hash Bash, the first Saturday of April. Near the first Saturday of July, but every 4th of July, DC Smokin'. And I tell people, if you care about this on a national level and you believe in this large gathering in one location, prove it. Come to DC. That's the place to do it. Come to DC and show, hey, we have activism in our state here in Wyoming and stuff that we're proud of, so we're going to go to DC and throw down. Until we get to the point where enough states are represented here that we can call ourselves a Continental Congress of Cannabis. And we can turn these rallies into meetings. In the meantime, second weekend of August is Seattle Hemp Fest. Anyone here ever been to Seattle Hemp Fest? I know that's going to be a real cruise for a lot of you. I guess maybe one person. Seattle Hemp Fest is a 3-mile park along Puget Sound with a 2-day event now, filled with hippies. The whole place reeks of pot. Another beautiful party environment. The Seattle police are so intelligent there that they get it. They don't persecute pot smokers in Seattle. And you see this huge event with so much stuff going on that one person can't even experience it all. So if you go to Seattle Hemp Fest, bring at least 2 or 3 friends with you. And on your way back, the week after Seattle Hemp Fest, if you care about hemp, go check out the farm of Alex White Plume. Alex White Plume is a member of the Oglala Lakota Nation, or what we call a resident of Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, which is in South Dakota, right underneath the Badlands. And you can see there an 1.5 acres of volunteer wild growing hemp that they call the DEA field. Used to call it their field of dreams, but the DEA stole their dreams, stole their crop 2 years in a row. But the field still remains, and though Alex is under threat of lawsuit if he enters into that field or has any hemp activity at all, it doesn't stop us from visiting, camping, living in a teepee if you want for a week, and enjoying an event which is going to turn into the new incarnation of Hemp Aid. Now, I think of Hemp Aid as a Michiganer. Hemp Aid to me reminds me of Rainbow Farm. Anybody here remember Rainbow Farm? We got a few people. See, this is a story that didn't get out. Maybe you read the Playboy article about it after Tom and Raleigh got assassinated. But Rainbow Farm was another one of these places where you have activism, speaking, plus camping, plus some live music equals a weekend of hippie heaven. All you need is the land. And what happened was this Tom Crosland was basically assassinated by the FBI for allowing activists to come onto his property and have rallies and events. And they thought, well, if we just come down real hard on these people, we're going to scare those people in Michigan and they're just going to drop it. They're just going to forget about the whole marijuana movement. No, didn't happen. And there are other farmers out there who are talking about it. The only thing missing now really is a good underground newspaper to advertise it in. That's another thing, too. Support your alternative media, people. I am so sick of the garbage they're selling us on TV. We need to get our alternative media thing happening in this country. And where's our marijuana blog? It's a blog for everything else in this world. Let's do that, too. Let's show them we're technological now. We're not in the stoner age. We're high tech. So we're going to march to, I'm going to get off, maybe get on a little later. I haven't really even given a speech yet, but some fun things to do on the march are chant. So let me do just 4 words with you. I got pot pride. 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 Cool. Yeah, you got that one. Now, another one I like to do is what I call my Mayday March. When I call out whose, you answer back with my. So if I call out whose park? Whose park? Whose park? Whose park? Whose park? Whose day? Whose day? Whose day? And we got to tighten it up a little bit because we're going to be marching while we're doing this, right? So it's like, whose park? Whose park? Whose park? Whose park? Whose street? Whose street? Whose sidewalk? Whose sidewalk? Whose day? Whose day? And then when I say what day, you say J Day. All right, free the weed. Smoke them if you got them. We officially have a quorum. Let me hand you all back to John.
All right.
Real quick, do you mind if I read a good quote?
Hey, we got somebody